Rock and roll may live forever, but we only retire once. Kevin Lamour of Our Financial Plans and Quadris Investment Services offers a large range of financial solutions from some of the biggest leaders in the investment and insurance landscape of Canada. See how a solid financial plan built with friendly and professional advice can help. Find out more at ourfinancialplans.ca or give them a call at 705-949-1316. And welcome to another episode of the Lonesome Cowboy Podcast. Today I have a young lady that's coming to us all the way from Delaware. And that's the first time I've talked to somebody from Delaware. So there you go. And this is Anne. There you go. And this is Anne Ramsey. Hi, Anne. How are you?
Hi.
Excellent. So, you're a retired person, are you? Okay.
Yeah.
And
I recommend it highly.
yes. So, and we talked a little bit about this before. So, when did that happen? And
Yeah. Well, I was thinking that I would retire a little bit later than I actually did, but I was a federal worker. Worked on the Hill. I worked for Health and Human Services
Wow.
during the pandemic.
You were right in the thick of it.
Wild and exciting. Yes, it
No
was crazy.
kidding.
Yeah, it was nuts. So I basically got my husband and my financial planner to sit down with me and say, like, how can I get out as soon as possible? And they said, you can retire now if you just sell your house
There you
in
go.
Washington, D.C., which we did. So we sold up and moved to the beautiful Brandywine Valley, which is gorgeous. It's
Yeah.
simply lovely.
Cool.
Yeah,
How
this
far is
is
that
where
from Washington, D.C.?
it's about 2 hours from Washington.
That's not bad.
Yeah, and about an hour from Baltimore, an hour from Philly, 4 hours from New York City. It's a great place to be, and people I'm on the sort of 95 corridor, so a lot of times people are headed someplace, like they're going from Washington, D.C. to New York or something, and so they'll stop over, which is great. So we have guest rooms, and we figured we would be having a lot more company than we did because we moved right in the middle of the pandemic. We had to get like dispensation from the governor of Delaware to move our stuff into the state during the lockdown. It was wild. It
No
was
kidding.
wild. So, but I ran screaming out of Washington, D.C. It was not a pleasant place towards end of 2020, beginning of 2021.
Yeah.
So, and as we were talking about, I wrote a song about it. I wrote a protest song about people I felt bad. I felt so bad about the people I
Yeah.
left behind.
The Public Enemy. I was listening to that song. And as Anne told me, folks, listen to it because some of the things in there did happen to her.
Yes. Yes, it was
Yeah.
scary. It was scary. I
Well,
got chased all the way to Tenleytown.
oh my God. So tell us about your musical journey, Anne. Where does the music come in for you?
Where does the music? Well, see, there's always been music in my life. I mean, as a child, I loved to sing. I took ballet lessons. I tried the violin in the fifth grade. I started piano in the seventh, I think. And then we moved to Toronto, and what a great music scene there was then. I was a
Oh,
big fan of, there was a place called the Fiddler's Green,
yeah.
great little folk club, and I was there a lot. And there was something called the Guitar Center too, and they had wonderful. I mean, I saw Segovia, I saw all these amazing people, and there was a terrific folk festival, the Mariposa Folk Festival, which at that point was on the little island in the lake. So I was there every summer, just soaking it all in and becoming a little folky. So I loved all that. Then came college, and I thought I was going to be, a musicologist or a folklorist or something like that because I was so into music.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I even visited a couple programs, and then just decided, well, I don't know, maybe this isn't the best idea. So I went out and worked. I worked in publishing and a bunch of different things. And, when you go out and work and stuff, like music sometimes just ends up taking a back seat, and it did for quite a while. I had a little revival of interest in the 90s when Sean Colvin came out. And I also had, I don't know if you can tell, but there's a virginal in my studio here, which is a little keyboard instrument, a poor man's harpsichord.
Oh,
I got
that's
interested in
cool.
the harpsichord.
No
So I did
kidding.
that a lot. But again, not until I retired did I really have a lot of time to devote to it. And so I picked the guitar back up. And I've always been a fingerstyle player. I had lessons with some pretty cool people when I was in college in Boston.
Yeah,
Did some talent shows, things like that, but never. Oh, yeah, and I did a little like busking and playing in coffee houses when I was in college.
cool.
But anyway, so I picked it back up again, and there was a musician I knew from work. I had met through work, and he was a great singer, folk singer, songwriter from Nashville who couldn't tour during the lockdown, and he was offering songwriting lessons. And I had written like a little retirement, like, things I want to do, kind of like everything from see an owl to like take a flamenco, like anything I felt like I wanted to do.
Cool.
And on there was write a song.
Okay.
So I contacted this guy and said, how long do you think it would take to teach me how to write a song? He said, well, you play the keyboard, you play the guitar, maybe 4 lessons. So I sent him a check. Well, I wrote a song in the first lesson, and he went, this is terrific. He goes, go away and write 100 more. So, and that
Nice.
was 3 years ago, so it just hasn't stopped. So I call myself a senior prodigy
Well, there you go.
because I've
You,
only
you
been
have
doing
to
this.
call yourself that because you don't look it.
So yeah, so I just started writing songs and I just haven't stopped. And then one of the people in my songwriting group, I sort of am connected. I'm in northern Delaware, so I'm kind of connected to the Philly scene.
Cool.
And because Wilmington doesn't have a lot to offer in terms of folk music. So the Philadelphia Folk Festival, I'm affiliated with them and with the Philadelphia Area Songwriters Alliance. And so one of the founders of that group said to me, you really got to think about recording because you kind of create like these little worlds with your songs. And so I took it to heart. And so I started recording and I just love it.
Good. Excellent. So I was going to ask you about the recording. Is this something you do at home, Anne, or do you go to a commercial studio for that?
No, I do go. Well, I wouldn't call him a commercial studio. It's a one-man shop.
Oh, okay. Either way.
Yeah, it's just one guy, and I was recording there to back up another guy who was doing an album, and
Sure.
I was there as a backup singer. And this producer said, "Ooh, make me a couple demos." And so I did, and he went, "Yeah, we can do something with this."
Good for you.
So yeah, I played him a bunch more. I got a little money from the Delaware Division of the Arts, which I highly recommend, by the way, folks. If you're in the United States and you haven't checked into your state Division of the Arts, do check it out. They might have a grant.
Yep.
So I got a little money from them to go to Richard Thompson's music camp, which was great,
Right. That
which
name's popped up a
really
few.
elevated
Yeah.
my songwriting like hugely. They're sort
Yeah.
of before Richard Thompson and after Richard Thompson in my songwriting. I learned all the drop Ds, 6/8 time, all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, I just started working with this guy, and he's also brilliant. I mean, he just happens to be brilliant. He's in Glenside, Pennsylvania, with his
Wow.
little home studio. I mean, it's all kitted out. I mean, it's just terrific.
Sure.
And he plays a million instruments, and we kept the album acoustic. I think there's one electric guitar solo in there from Richard Thompson's grandson. I will broadcast Zach Hobbs, who's just wonderful.
Nice.
I did one cover on the album, and it's a Richard Thompson song. So Zach played the guitar on that for me, which was
Nice.
so nice.
Excellent.
But yeah.
You like writing songs with a historical tie-in, and I do that as well. What kind of history era are you drawn to get your inspiration from?
Just about anything. I mean, I have history BA and a history master's in medieval England.
Yeah, I noticed you had the one set there in a medieval times. What was the name of
Yeah,
that
I do
one?
have. Yeah, I do have one about a Norman princess. I also have one about a Neanderthal. So
Oh yeah, I saw that one too. I thought, well, that kind of answers my question. She goes
it's
back to the, prehistory.
I do, and I have another one which I haven't recorded, but I probably will at some point. It's about a place called Doggerland, which I found out through my 23andMe is where my forebears came from, which is
That
it's the
rings a bell.
land. It's now sunk. but it was the land between England and France. That used to
Oh,
be, but there was like a tsunami or something, and the ice age ended, and it all raised, and so I mean, it all sank rather. So basically, there is no more Doggerland, except there's a shallow area that the Dutch boat, the fisherman boat, they hit this sandbar like thing,
hmm.
and their boats are called doggers. So they
Oh,
called the whole area Doggerland after those Dutch boats.
interesting.
Yeah. So, and I'm, an antique collector from way back, and so just history is part of, and wherever my husband and I like to travel, and we like to go on little hunts, like let's find Harriet Tubman's birthplace, or let's find, we want to go find something. So, and
No
then we
kidding.
find
That's
interesting, yeah,
cool.
we find interesting things. So we were in Ireland, and we were learning all about how the Tudors conquered Ireland, and there was this word I saw in a display, and the word was gallowglass. And I thought, what a great
That's the
word.
one I was listening to, Gallowglass. That's the one there.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah,
that
yeah,
is
yeah.
such a cool word. And it means mercenary. They were probably Scots who came to
Really?
help. Yeah, they came to help the Irish fight off
Huh.
the wars of English aggression. So I had to write. So I ended up writing sort of a love story, battle, carnage, you name it. Everything happens in this song.
Yeah, exactly. So, speaking of Gallowglass, tell me more about the album. Like, what can we expect? Is there
So
a
yeah,
general
so we're
theme, or
dropping.
what are we doing?
Yeah, we're dropping singles now, and they're quite varied. The first one I put out was the protest song because it was relevant. The
Hmm.
second one was the title track, Gallow Glass. The third one is coming August 1st. It's sort of an Edith Piaf song. It's got accordion in it, and
Oh,
it's
nice.
a torch song.
Cool.
And then the fourth one will be the cover, the Richard Thompson cover, Withered and Died. But the rest of the album is, the Neanderthal is in there. um,
Yeah,
there's a hanged noble thief from the 18th century, a real
those are
guy.
good songs. Hanging songs are good songs.
Ah, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
hanging
yeah,
songs. Yeah, it's perfect. It fits right into the whole. So
yeah.
I think, even though I just did the one cover, it kind of helps tie it all together because there is sort of this Anglo-Celtic thing happening in amongst the songbook Americana style.
Cool.
But there's 9 originals and one cover, and I can't wait for it to come out. I'm very excited.
Yeah, that's cool. It's neat that you write and stuff like that. I mean, I do the same thing when I'm a former corrections officer. So I wrote about the where I used to work. I have a song called Gray Bar Hotel, and wrote a song about the hangman that used to come around and did the last hanging where I used to work in 1954.
Well, all
Yeah,
those stories just really, yeah, they kind of stick in your head, and they just sort of demand
yeah.
to be written. I had been listening to a lot of stuff about after I did my 23andMe and found out I'm 4% Neanderthal. I had been listening to a lot of podcasts about it and lectures and things, and learned hey, they weren't, they actually had art. They had some belief, some kind of, ever after type beliefs because they buried people when they died. And
Hmm.
they had decorative things. They had necklaces and, they decorated themselves. So they're pretty sophisticated. So I just kind of thought, well, how would you feel if you were this guy and you lived in a cave and then there were these swarms of these guys that were smaller than you that were like probably taking your women? How
That's
would you
neat.
feel about that? Because I mean, it happened, right? So
Yeah,
there was
yeah,
some, prehistoric hanky-panky going on. So
yeah. That's where we get the old standard cartoon where you see them dragging the woman by the
dragging
hair.
the women. Yeah, I have a feeling that those women looked at those Homo sapiens and said, they're kind of cute. But
That's
anyway,
great.
yeah, my poor Neanderthal in my song is having a bad day because the Homo sapiens are over the hill. They're coming. And he wakes up late and misses the hunting party, and it's just like, oh God, how is this all? And his wife, his mate, is missing. So
Oh, great.
things are not going well.
That's great. So you have, do you have you written other songs about current events, or do you still like to stay in the historical
Um,
end of things?
I do like
Other,
to say in history, but I write about my own self
ah,
with some regularity. I married late, so I dated for decades.
nice.
So I used to say that if it moves, I probably dated it.
I love it.
So there's tons of stories about that. Whether I was the one who was, I've got one where I'm sort of immature and just like, and there's sort of the narrator of the song is saying, let her go. She's no good. And I have other songs where somebody really dumps on me. Like my song Three Times a Night is about a guy who's charming and handsome, and I dated him in my 20s, and he could recite poetry, which is frankly diabolical. Men should not be allowed to do that.
I
So
write poetry.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, so, and he recited his own and others, and just, I just was completely. Anyway, he dumped me because he was very ambitious and wanted to, become a world famous poet, but was also doing things like breaking the law, and so it was like,
Take a pick, buddy.
right. So it had to be written. It had to be done.
No kidding. That begs to definitely be done. That's for darn sure. I was when I was listening to your music, you actually sound like some Canadian Celtic singers, Lorena McKennitt and Natalie McMaster. Of course, she's a fiddler, but still. So you are you familiar with those Canadian artists at all?
Yes, I
All
am.
right,
No, I
good
like I
stuff.
like Celtic music a lot, and I remember listening to a lot of June Tabor and just all, a lot of course, Richard Thompson and Richard Thompson adjacent people. Grew up to Martin Carthy was one of my heroes. Adored him and still do. So, and all of the female singers, Anne Briggs and all those people. Yeah, very, very heavily influenced by them. And so I describe myself on my website as full-throated singer because I don't do that whispery thing that a lot of the young gals these days do, nor am I a belter.
Uh-huh.
So I sing sort of a la Joan Baez, a la Judy Cotton. That's kind of, that's people tell me that's who I sound like.
Yeah.
Young people don't know how to describe unless they've seen the Bob Dylan movie and they, oh yeah, you sound like Joan Baez. Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean that was the obvious, but I stuck with Canadian stuff, so there you go.
Yeah. Oh no, I love Canadian. I love Canadian artists, and I also learned to like a lot of Canadian literature because I went to high school up there.
Oh yeah.
So I read Margaret Lawrence and Robertson Davies, and yeah, Margaret Atwood. I brought all those authors, and they're so great.
Margaret Atwood lived in the city right here in Sault Ste. Marie when she was from about age 8 or something to 10 to 12 or something like
Yeah,
that.
and her papers are in a big old house in Rosedale near
There you
in
go.
Toronto.
Yeah, yeah. And that's the lady who predicted the future like crazy with The Handmaid's
Yep,
Tale.
and the past, and all of it.
Yeah, yeah, all the rest exactly. Who's playing with you on this album, Anne? I
Well,
hear the other instruments.
my producer plays pedal steel. If you
Ooh.
if you listen to the Public Enemy, you heard that
Mm-hmm.
heartbreaking pedal steel he can
Yeah,
do.
yeah, yeah.
And he also plays bass. He plays a fretless bass on my Neanderthal song. It's just me and him. And he plays what else does he play? Mandolin on Gallo Glass. He's that heartbreaking mandolin.
Beautiful.
But then I found this actually Canadian guy who lives half the year in Ulster, who's has Gallo Glass in his heritage.
Wow.
Stefan. He plays Irish whistle for me and drone and bodhrán and things like that. And then of course Zach plays that solo.
My Irish
And
whistle.
then my producer found my producer found a great piano player, accordion player, and also he found the upright bass player Sam Nobles, who's wonderful. He plays around here a lot. So yeah, none of us are like necessarily playing at the same time. Although there's one song I do that's my song, but I heard another friend of mine play it we call them Cover Me, events where we cover each other's songs. He
Oh,
played,
cool.
yeah, he played a song I wrote about my girlhood called "Girl on a Bike," and I loved his guitar arrangement so much that I asked him to do it on my album and sing with me. So I sing the lead and he sings the harmony and he plays the guitar. It's the only one I don't play guitar on. "Girl
Awesome.
on a Bike." It's a really sweet song.
Yeah, it sounds like it would be. The You've talked a little bit about it, the music scene in the area where you live in Delaware in general. What's it? I mean, you're close to big music scenes, close to New York, I'm sure the
Yeah,
big cities, Philly and
yeah. I
stuff
mean,
like that.
I go to NERFA, which is the
Oh, yes,
Northeast
NERFA, yeah.
Regional Folk
Hmm.
Alliance. Yeah, I go to that. I just went once. I'm going to go again.
Yeah,
And that's, I think, sort of Boston centric, but there's a lot of great music scenes in Hudson Valley, in Catskills, in Berkshires, and in Boston, of course. Here, it's a little bit fragmented, I'll say, because there's a music fledgling, I don't know, like small music scene in Dover. There's some music stuff that happens at the beaches, Rehoboth and Lewis. A couple great clubs. And then a lot of house concert type stuff. But for me, at Wilmington, there apparently were some great live music settings in Wilmington, but a number of them closed during the pandemic and just haven't really been replaced.
sure.
So it seems for me like I kind of head towards Philly. That's the way it's kind of going.
Cool. Excellent. It seems like you're in an area where you can play a variety of different places all within, short
It's
drive
not
kind
too
of
far,
thing.
and I will drive. I've been known to drive an hour and a half to play two songs.
There you go.
You
So,
know,
with that said, then, do you have any plans maybe to do even a regional tour of the album when it's all done?
we'll see how that all turns out. So far, I've had interest from a house concert, a couple that does
Yeah,
house
yeah.
concerts. I've had interest from then, and I also made it into the Philadelphia Folk Festival.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
so I'm playing a set on August 16th.
Good for you. There you go.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right. And I can say, well, I interviewed her when she was no one.
We'll see what happens. We'll see. It's 11 in the morning, so
That's one thing about being at the level of we're at, right? You get those prime spots like that
I get the
11, 12,
prime
1.
spot, 11 a.m. I'll be warming up in the car.
Yeah, really. Yeah, what time of year is that happening?
That's August 16th.
Oh, okay, that's not too
The whole
bad.
festival is 15th through the 18th. I'm on the second day, Saturday, at the craft
Gotcha.
stage.
Gotta love it. So, when it comes to what kind of improvements would you like to see at venues? I'm asking this to all the musicians
Yeah.
because it seems to be an issue with many.
Yeah, and
And
I listened to a couple of your folks, and they say something that I would also say that I run into, which is when they ask you to bring your following,
yeah,
and they don't seem to have their own clientele. There's been a couple like open mics I do where they definitely have a following. But if you want to do a set someplace, like a little songwriter showcase or something like that, they will definitely ask you to bring your following. It's like, uh-huh.
uh-huh,
Yeah.
yeah. I always
I'm gonna
answer
have
that
them
question.
drive an hour and a
Yeah.
half.
Yeah, I like to tell them that too. I always they say, "Do you have a following?" I said, "Do you have a clientele?"
Yeah, that's the question is, do they have one?
Yeah,
I mean, that's, I think, the appeal of the house concert is that I know the ones in Washington, D.C., the good ones, the ones that the musicians really wanted to play, were the
sure.
ones that they sold it out every time. Even if it was just 25 or 30 people, a full living room or a full basement lounge or whatever it is, it just makes a huge difference psychologically
Hmm.
to the player, and then they're the friends of the host, so you're getting to meet some new folks. And I don't know about anybody else, but if I go to a house concert, I always buy the freaking CD. It's like, of course I'll buy the CD.
Yeah, yeah, that's about it. Well, I played a house type of house concert on the weekend at a lodge way stuck in the wonderful Northern Ontario, right on the Mishpacotton River, and
Wow,
it's a lodge, but they do their concerts in a house concert style, which is kind of neat. And
that's nice.
yeah, it was great fun. So it turned out much better because they're known for their concerts, so which works out really well.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you think that venues can do to make it more comfortable or better for the artist?
Well,
What
I
would you
mean, the
like to see?
obvious things, it's great if they have a green room, some quiet place where you can tune, for heaven's sakes.
I never
They
have
don't
those.
always have that. Sometimes you're standing, in the bathroom.
Yeah. I had
That's
one of those
nice.
Tuesday last week, but
It's great if they have a decent sound guy,
yes.
which, I've been lucky. I've had a lot of, there's a lot of venue. There's seems to be a lot of, these leafy suburbs of Philadelphia, like Collegeville and Chestnut Hill and Phoenixville, that all have Glenside, that all have these cute little downtowns with like one big old movie theater that they've turned into a venue. And they're usually great, and the sound systems and everything are wonderful.
Good.
So yeah, I mean that's all really nice. Giving you an opportunity, either like a little graphic or something that you can send out to your people. I have my budding email list. I'm like
Yeah.
asking the lady who cuts my hair, can I put you on my email?
Money. I do the same thing. Oh, your music now. Is that what you're doing? Yeah. Can I put you on my mailing list? You'll find out more
Yeah,
about it that way.
yeah, yeah,
And it
yeah.
usually works.
It has so far no one said no.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about it. Because I always tell them, look, you're not going to be spammed or anything like that. I says, I don't do it that often.
Yeah,
I'm busy
I
doing
try
other
to keep
things.
it minimal. And then, if sometimes it's just one line, like, "Hey
Yeah.
guys, I'm playing the Philadelphia Folk Festival. How about
Yeah, there
that?"
you go. That's it. Yeah. Many artists go into their careers at the beginning and they start in one genre of music. I know I was a rock music, guy, and I did that and played the covers and covers. And then you kind of find something. Have you always been on this kind of music, Anne, or did you just come into that? Do you see yourself ever
Oh, well,
writing?
when I played in college, I was playing Michael Cooney, Martin Carthy, the Friends of
Hmm,
Fiddler's Green. Yeah, I've always been in sort of trad world. That's where I feel comfortable. And I just didn't write my own things. I didn't write my own songs when I was younger. Now I write my own songs. So all the covers I know are from 1975.
yeah.
So, so I have to work on like the more recent ones, just for like because people like to do these jam sessions, which I'm really not. I don't really
Not a
have the
not a jam,
wherewithal.
not a
I don't
jammer.
really have the stuff. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I know all and the thing is that like your memory like seems to have cemented. So like I know all the words to every James Taylor song and every, Simon and Garfunkel song, but a song that I wrote myself
Yeah,
two
forget
weeks ago,
it.
I can't remember.
Yeah,
Lyrics are
exactly.
a big sticking point for me. It's really a problem. But I
Same
just have to
here.
play and listen to them in the car, just, hundreds, I would say hundreds of times. And I can still forget the words. So
And I'm rehearsing a tour that starts October 1st now.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah. And I play it every day. I play the set
yeah.
every
Yeah.
day.
I sit my husband and my cat down every day at 4 o'clock, turn on the amp and the microphone and
Say,
force them to sit there and listen to me play my set.
there you go. See? That's
But I heard Taylor Swift used to do that too. She used to do it on her treadmill. She would
oh,
go through her whole 2 hour set every day on the treadmill. So it's like we're not alone. And I also recall this very well because I used to be in video, and I worked on a show for the Smithsonian one time, and it was about the birthday of the piano, and we had Billy Joel and a whole bunch of piano players, and I mean they were all the piano players, Dave Brubeck, they were all there,
yeah,
and he was terrific, but he used a teleprompter. He can't remember his own words, Billy Joel. So I'm like, okay, if you can't remember, then I'm not alone.
yeah. And I saw Paul McCartney and on his Back in the USA tour, and I remember seeing the clear sheets there that sit on the stands like that, right by his keyboard, and then two
Teleprompter
more, yeah, teleprompters down by the
by the
the
monitor.
monitors. Yeah. Now they have monitors that look like monitors, but they're actually screens with all the words on them.
Yeah, yeah, it's what Obama used. It's what they
Yeah.
use.
Yeah,
And
that's
there's
just
one over here and there's one over there, so you can do the oscillating fan thing.
yeah, exactly. So you look like you're actually attentive, eh? Excellent, Anne Ramsey, outstanding. thank you for coming on the program. Tell the
Thank
folks
you.
where they can find out more about you and your music and socials and all that fun stuff.
Well, I guess the easiest thing is just my website. Which is just Ann Ramsey Music, but it's spelled
Cool.
ANN, no E,
No
ANN
E. Okay.
RAMSEY, not AY. I'm not Gordon. So it's annramseymusic.com, and it'll link you to, I mean, because my stuff is under Ann Ramsey, Ann space Ramsey,
There
in
you
the
go.
streaming services, and the record will be, I'm going to do a little radio promotion, see how that does,
Sure.
and yeah, for the album. But right now, you'll just see a couple singles up there if you go to a streaming place. And SoundCloud, you'll see my demos and stuff, some of which are
Ah,
terrible.
cool. Gotcha.
But there's more
Outstanding.
stories. And again, the SoundCloud would just be soundcloud.com/Ann Ramsey,
Yeah.
and you'll get to me.
Go check her stuff out, folks. You're going to go on a little journey with it, and there's great stories and going on there. And anybody who's got stories, I love talking about them because I'm a story
Stories is
writer.
where it's at. I mean, if you
Yeah.
can make somebody cry or laugh in 3.5 minutes, you know,
Yeah,
it's all about the stories.
yeah, I agree 100%. Thanks for coming on the program, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. And let me know when it's wherever.
You bet. We'll
Okay.
we'll be tagging you.
Okay.
Rock and roll may live forever, but we only retire once. Kevin Lamour of Our Financial Plans and Quadris Investment Services offers a large range of financial solutions from some of the biggest leaders in the investment and insurance landscape of Canada. See how a solid financial plan built with friendly and professional advice can help. Find out more at ourfinancialplans.ca or give them a call at 705 949 1316.